Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Atomic Salt Live Show. This is the weekly discussion show. We're going to talk about everything in the tabletop hobby world. Sorry about last week, folks. I was sick as a dog, and I could not speak for more than 30 seconds, so we decided to skip out last week. But we're back this week, and as always, I'm joined with my buddy, Casey. Casey, how are you?
I've been able to avoid the blessing of Father Nurgle, so I think I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's always good.
So, what since we've been gone for 2 weeks, what have you been up to?
Oh, man, let's see. We were doing a lot of 40K this past couple of weeks. Been doing a lot of painting, like crazy. As you can see here, I'm working on my LVL list, so I've been painting red.
Yeah, those blood angels look pretty sharp, man. How'd you do that?
I I followed Lester Bursley's and a little bit of uh, on Studio Geraldes on their technique. Um, I did. I painted the whole thing black, and so this the Lester Bursley's awesome paint job method went all black, and then I hit everything with highlights on with gray color, and then
Hmm.
glazed the whole thing with red, and then I went over it again, hit more highlights with uh, sunny skin tone, and then glazed it again, and it's the result. Some bright red.
Yeah, man, that is like almost hard to look at red.
Yeah, I have all I have 10 Terminators that are looking like this, and I swear they almost glow in the dark.
Well, but do you like it?
I do. That's one thing. Like there, these painting methods that you see, it is you do it, and then you're like, wow, that looks so over the top. But then once like, I started doing the shoulders on these guys, doing black, um, kind of doing them in the um, pattern of the flesh terrors. So as I'm adding more colors to it, it all kind of dulls down.
So is that kind of your blood angel chapter of choice? Is the flesh tears?
I like them. I don't run the special rules in there or their special detachment, but I like them as a chapter. I mean,
Can you tell me
Gabriel,
why? Because like I
Gabriel,
get the blood angels, but I have a hard time understanding the flesh tears.
I like him because of Gabriel. I mean, he's he really shouldn't be a Lord of War.
No, no, he should not.
He's like the weakest. He's the at the Lord of War meetings. He's the guy who takes the coffee orders. But I like him because of him. I mean, he's the maniac trying to save his chapter and they don't get much love. But the guy can cut a Land Raider in half. So I mean, there's that.
In the fluffy can.
Oh no, in game he can too.
What are his rules?
He's got an Eviscerator that's strength 8. He gets a +1 on the charge. That's he gets 5 attacks on the charge with rending, and for every 6 he rolls, he gets additional attacks. So he could literally cut a Land Raider in half.
Okay, but that means that you're strength 9 on the charge
Mm-hmm.
against armor 14?
You
Dude, I
roll
still don't.
you roll a 6. That's rending.
Uh, I know. I still don't like your odds there.
Oh no, I mean it's Matt Hammer doesn't. Uh, it's rare, but he's got the possibility.
Okay, fair enough. But
But yeah,
I concur.
he he's a Lord of War that he just likes to be in combat, but has a hard time getting there.
Does he have a jump pack?
Nope. He's got a
So
13
he's.
plus 4 plus. He's not Eternal Warrior.
Well, his mother loves him at least. So,
Yeah.
so what? So, other than Blood Angels, what else have you been working on?
I started painting on my Titan, um, my Lantern.
Nice.
I've got him. I've got him assembled to the part where anything more will be restricted on painting. I don't have him with me in here today. He's out in the garage, but I started on the metallics. I just need to do some oil washes on those to get him looking machinery. And then, yeah,
Is he going to be a part of any one specific house?
no, I don't think so. I'm just gonna toy around with colors, and I do like the yellow hazard stripe look. So I'm gonna have to figure out where to incorporate that somewhere.
That usually looks pretty good on like a big shoulder pad or something like
Yeah.
that.
So I'm still toying around with the color schemes.
Okay. You know, you could just paint them up like Blood Angels. It's not unheard of for knight errants just to go and attach themselves to chapters that they, owe some debt to or something like that.
Yeah, I'm,
So
I've already
there's
done
no
that.
reason why you couldn't put Blood Angel iconography all over him.
Sure.
Or Flesh Terror, I suppose.
So I am. I'm just toying around with that, but yeah, he's in the works again for LVO. Other than that, let's see. I painted up some tractor mules commissioned for a buddy. Um, already handed those things off, and then I've got some Tau player that wants me to paint his stuff for him. So I'm dragging my feet on that.
Dirty Tau, those guys suck. I mean, who would ever want. If you're Tau, you're just like a dirty cheater.
Ah,
You don't even know how to play 40K.
so what are you working on tonight, there, Casey?
I'm working on my Tau. I'm working on my Tau here. So let me put down the knife for a moment here. So I'm essentially working on a pair of ghost keels. So I really like these units. Honestly, I think they're the best things to come out of the new codex. Uh, I've got. Oh, hold on. So I've got both of the models. I've got their legs done, and I've got some basic materials drying up on them, and I've got their torsos done as well. So obviously they're not glued on. Uh, so I've got those done. What I've also done that I'm particularly proud of, if I do say so myself, is I've magnetized all of their weapons. So, here's the ion raker. And you'll see I've got two little magnets down here, and I've matched drilled magnets on the other side. So it just snaps on, and it's really, really secure. I was contemplating just using one magnet. I'm pretty glad that I didn't. So I can, here's their fusion gun. So I can switch guns out at will. And then what I also did on the other arms, so typically the way the book shows it is you're supposed to put their secondary weapons up here on these little hard points. But I don't like that. I think that's dumb. So what I did is I mounted a couple of magnets in their offhand. And then I just kind of set it up so you can put whatever weapons you want here on their other arms. So they're holding it kind of like that. So the interesting thing is I'll stop and talk about this for a sec. Is I don't know if you can see these or not, but there's a very, very small dot of metal on each of these.
Yeah.
And that's not actually a magnet. Those are actually nail heads. So I just cut the heads off of some finishing nails. I screwed down inside of the base of the weapon, put a whole bunch of glue in there, and then just dropped that nail in there and set it so that the nail head was flush with this surface. It's nice because these guns don't need a whole lot of strength to hold on. and so I'd rather not waste magnets. And also, I'd like to be able to switch them around from different vehicle or not vehicles, but different suits. So like I don't actually have a whole lot of these on crisis suits sometime in the future, but I don't have to. I don't want to have to worry about magnet polarities matching up with what's on the weapon. So this way, this will just attach to a magnet no matter which way it's facing inside of the socket.
Pretty smart. You must be like an engineer or something.
Yeah, like a freaking rocket scientist over here. And then I believe this is the ECM pod or whatever gives those like a really, lets you forces the guy just to snap shoot. And so I want to keep these on the model because I think it's a really cool little bit. So if you notice, I still left one hard point on there, and I put a magnet on here, so I can still throw that up there, and I think that looks kind of neat. It gives it almost like a predator kind of look. So that's what I got going on this evening. So you'll watch me. I'm building up the second ECM pod, and I'll be magnetizing it here in just a few minutes.
So how do you like to run or how will you be running these guys?
The ghost kills?
Yes.
I've played them twice, and I think that they have two really great weapons. The fusion weapon is, essentially an 18-inch melta with a small blast, and assault 2. So what's not to love there? And the other one is a large blast strength 7 AP4. So they're both really great at what they do, but they both do very different things. So in general, what I've been doing is I've just been taking a squad of 2 with 1 each. One fusion weapon and 1 ion weapon. So that really lets me target vehicles and troops, equally well. And I'll put a target lock on them so they can shoot at different things and shoot at what they shoot at best. That's generally what I do.
Are you gonna run them in don't you have some special detachments?
We do actually. So we've got the optimized stealth cadre. So if you take a squad of ghost keels and you take 2 squads of stealth suits, and as long as they stay within 6 inches of each other, the whole formation gets +1 to their ballistic skill, which is nice. So that takes them all to ballistic skill 4. And then they also get to, whenever they target a vehicle, they get to act as if they were shooting at the rear armor of it. So that means you're going to have a melta gun always hitting your rear armor, which is pretty darn nasty. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I do. 40K is getting into very, very interesting rules as far as how everything gets all these special rules now if you take them in a certain way.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain about it, but most of these people are Marines who then try to justify why they should totally get vehicles for free.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, both. It's not just TAO, not just Space Marines. It's just 40K was going balanced. Now it's getting unbalanced.
I think we're all kind of like we're our own worst enemy on this, and GW is just giving us what we asked for. Because a year or so back, we were all talking about 6th edition, and we were seeing all these codices, and people just kept saying, "Oh, they're boring." Oh, it's boring, it's underpowered this, but really they were all just being balanced with each other. And you know what? GW heard us. They said, "Oh, you guys want wacky, overpowered stuff for free? You got it." And they gave us exactly what we asked for.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We have all these detachments, and one detachment by itself doesn't seem game breaking. Your optimized stealth. So I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. But then, like when you're able to stack that with uh, bringing in stealth or bringing in suits without scatter, it's just like wow. It's like where's the balance and everything?
Well, have you been playing anything lately?
Yeah, I've been. I did a narrative event recently called Thanksgiving, and yeah, nice little play on words there. And it was interesting because I was the only person there with Space Marines, and which is odd because I mean,
Were you the only person to bring tanks too?
yeah, I'll pretty because it's like, oh, bring as many tanks as possible. I'm like, done. I've got 6 ball predators. I've got 3 land raiders in my collection. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna and Karen. I'm like, I'm just gonna bring all my tanks. Well, not all of them. I left a couple of land raiders at home. But yeah, but if one of the special rules was if you didn't have tanks in your army, because I mean, if you're a bug player, you don't have tanks, but you
Well,
got
that's their own fault for being bug players.
yeah, but yeah, you had tank hunter if you didn't have it. So I show up and like, and there's three Tau players. Uh, none of them have tanks. 2 Necron lists and an Arc list. And I'm like, oh man, this sucks. I'm just bringing victory points for everybody.
Yeah, that's kind of lame that it was called Thanksgiving and nobody brought tanks. See, this is what I mean. Like 40k players, we suck. Like we all say we want balance and we all want to be playing for fun, and then we go and do shenanigans like that. All right, so how did you do in the event then? Enough
Uh,
of me griping.
I gave 3 people wins.
Well, that was awfully nice of you. Oh, so real quick, guys. Let me adjust the camera here. So there's a couple different ways that you can.
You could brutally injure yourself in this hobby.
Yeah, you know, if you're not bleeding for your hobby, you're not caring enough. So when I'm putting in magnets, I use a 1/8 size magnet. You know, you can either use this by hand or you can use a screw gun like I do. The screw gun has the advantage of being faster. It's generally a little bit more precise as well. So you just need to be very, very careful when you're drilling out the hole. So as always, a lot of the other typical machining stuff counts. You're going to want to use a nice sharp bit for this. Oh. I'm going to have to go and rethink my life now. You know, you want to use a sharp bit. You want to try and pre-drill your holes as much as possible so that things don't walk on you like they just did with me. So that's what I get for trying to drill straight into a hemisphere surface. I thought that if I'd I'd kind of started the hole a little bit, it would stay straight, but obviously that's not the case.
You have to cut those things flat.
Yeah. So,
I
anyways.
learned that from magnetizing Tyranids. Dome.
Oh, yeah, with all the arms and those little ball sockets.
Yeah. Ball sockets are a pain.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to make that little drill hole a little bigger. There we go. All right, so sorry. So, all right, Thanksgiving. Tell us round 1.
Round 1 was against Necrons. There's some special rules on the table. Uh, it was, I mean, just pretty much like a standard game. You fought it out, and if you took the objectives, whoever won was considered or had their placing for the next round, and
Had what?
had their placing for the like if they were attacker or defender. So how you did in the first round determined what you were in the second round.
Right.
And being that it was a narrative event, it was just there was no overall winner. It was just who had the most fun type of
Okay.
thing. But yeah, it was
So
Necrons.
what did the Necrons look like?
It was the first one. Let's see, first round. The guy had a couple of annihilation barges, um, two troop versions, one big blast shooty version, a couple of destroyers, and then a stalker for the Decurion uh, detachment special rules mess, and then he had an Oberon in the with a Lich Guard that were unkillable basically. 2+ armor, uh, 2+ uh, reanimation with rerolls on ones.
That's really, I mean, one, that's how you need to play Necrons, but two, yeah, when you're dealing with Necrons, it's really the only way, like, you have to kill entire squads off the board. If you don't, they're just going to come back and give you rough times. So sorry guys, another thing with magnetizing, always check the polarity of your magnets first before you go and glue them in.
Oh, I thought you didn't care about polarity.
Well, on these bigger ones, I'm putting magnets on both sides, so I kind of do. On these ones, on the little ones, I don't care.
Well,
Bigger ones.
What I do with mine is I cut a cross on one side. So it's a little cross, and then so at least once the one side with a cross will pair up with the non-cross side.
Oh yeah, that's a great way of doing it. I do that too sometimes. I'm going fast tonight.
Yeah. Well,
so.
Like I said, I mean, my magnetizing is from bugs where you had the multiple things, so you had to care a little bit.
Yeah. So here's a different one. So you'll see it sits sideways compared to the other guy, but I think it's kind of neat looking.
Yeah.
So one will sit like that, and one will sit like this. So they'll just enough difference that they kind of look unique. So I'm quite happy with these. I like these Ghost Kit models. Sorry. Unkillable Necrons.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was one of those games where it was only just like one specialist or one squad. It seemed like just one squad with special rules of their Decurion detachment. Didn't seem that bad. I mean, they got to. I think it was the destroyers had some rerolls, or they had some better BS and all that. So it didn't seem that bad. But second round, some funky deployments because of the special rules, but it was a nice fun match against Necrons again.
Oh, same player?
Now different player, different list. He had that giant Lord of War.
Their little Satan.
Yeah, whatever that thing is.
Pyramid of Doom thing.
the I start unpowered and I get a 3+ invo save. Like what?
Yeah, those are not fun. But typically there are a lot of points. He even
Oh
at
yeah,
2,000 points, he didn't have a whole lot of other stuff on the board. I'm imagining.
he had yeah, it was a stalker, a couple of troop annihilation barges, and then the Forge World version of the Forge World uh, not the chariot, but what's it?
Oh, the command thing or
The
whatever.
barge. Yeah,
Yeah, not the annihilation barge or the I I don't know Necron units as well, but I know which one you're talking about.
yeah,
That was like the first chariot that really ever hit 40K, and we all didn't know what to do with it.
yeah. Yeah, so that was a fun match. One of my one of the special rules was that any tank had a 5+ info save.
And you had all tanks. That's awesome. Was
Yeah,
that true for the whole game?
well, yeah, for the whole tournament. So my tanks had some survivability until they just got glanced to death. But yeah, my last round was going against Tau, and Tau with no tanks. So it was pretty rough. That one hurt.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, I got to see. Yeah, it was 2,000 points. He had 3 ghost kills in that detachment. He had what all his crisis suits galore that came in on without scattering detachment. And then he had the Pathfinders that shot missiles if they got marker lights.
That's a lot. He couldn't. So, from what I know of that, and I know a little bit, what I don't get is it seems like he's got a whole lot of units, but not very big units.
Yeah, it was like a min max type of thing.
Yeah, oh, that's true. My wife is laughing here. That's true of most 40K players. There's or 40K in general. There's a lot of units, but none of them are very big. Oh, she thinks this is amazing. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
But yeah, that's where I mean, we're going to go to LVO, so I'm expecting to see lists like that have just a lot of special rules that hurt the balance of the game.
This game is not about balance. Have you not figured that out by now?
I know, and I sound like an old man. Like you just want to have fun, but it's when you put down your models, you're like, okay, I should just be picking these up as soon as possible because I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna be hurting the whole time. So I will say this: what makes a Tau player mad is when you start pointing at crisis suits and say which one of those has the female pilot.
Why does that make us mad?
That it was funny because that was the only way I was able to mentally get to this guy was to to say that his whole army was ran by fish women.
We are. I don't understand why that makes him mad. I mean, I still kind of disagree with the fish thing. We're more like, well, we're like part goat, part fish. Let's call a spade here. But yeah, I mean, we are. I mean, our our
the most
commander in our
the most
commander in chief
ruthless
is a lady.
the most ruthless army in the 40K universe is ran by women.
Yeah. How are you not surprised by this?
Hey, and that must make a Sisters of Battle feel a lot better.
No, the Sisters of Battle wish they were like the Tau. In my fluff, all of my crisis suits are females.
I mean, that yeah. So if
So,
you want to get yourself competitive, Casey, you got to start thinking of that. How many detachments you can take on the list?
really, I think so. When it comes to Tau, there's like our two strongest ones are one, the optimized stealth cadre, which is what you were just talking about, and which is what I'm going to be running these guys as. It won't be quite the size of the detachment that he was using, because I've been kind of experimenting with that, and because ghost kills are not cheap, uh,
In points or in the
points
wallet?
wise. Both, I suppose. However, and there's certain units like stealth suits, which are kind of like their closest analogy, really only work when you're running a full size squad of them. A minimum 3-man squad of stealth suits won't ever get you anywhere. However, a full 6-man squad actually does a lot of work for you. And that was kind of my original idea, was that the ghost kills would be the same way. I'd have to take a full 3-person squad to get anything out of them. But that's not been the case. I found that actually 2 tend to work just as well. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's easier on the wallet, it's easier on the points. So, and that's probably your best bet. After that is the Storm Surge. I know a lot of guys are trying to use Storm Surges as like shooting platforms. They immediately dig in their heels and try and get those double shots, and they haven't been impressed with them. However, what I've been seeing, and what I kind of was figuring all along, was that these guys are great middle of the board controllers, because the closer they get to shooting, the better. You set them up so they get a 4+ invulnerable save and a 5+ feel no pain, and these guys are not going down for anything. They become just rock solid units. And remember, they're also gargantuan creatures, so they get stomp. So, oh yeah, sure, your Thunderwolves are going to go in and assault me with, like a dozen power fists. I don't care. I'm going to save most of them. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stomp you. And that's a D strength attack, and you're just going to wipe them out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Death Stars do not do well against gargantuans.
yeah. And so you use those guys as, like middle of the field control, and you're going to dominate. There we go. Not too bad looking so far.
Yay. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I just gotta keep coming back. This is just an amazingly detailed kit. It's slightly infuriating to build because there's like a million little pieces to it that I'm not exactly sure I'm enjoying, because they kind of take forever to assemble.
So if you're a Tau player and you do not want to assemble your stuff, Casey will do it on commission.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Inquire below.
Put him. Sorry, I'm just posing him now. This is the fun part. You're like, ooh, he's gonna be shooting like this, and he's gonna do that.
Give him the gangster pose.
Yeah. I've seen some guys really do that. They'll cut the arm. They'll make a little incision right here, and then turn it sideways so he's holding his gun out like that. Yeah, I'm right and nerdy. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people were questionable when they first saw the Tau Codex come out, but I think there's very little doubt at this point that Tau are a top tier army list.
Oh yeah, it's a powerhouse.
Now, there's very specific builds, and I suppose that's true for like everybody. Like any top tier list is, you have to take very specific builds to get the work out of it. But yeah, it's nice to be on top again. Sucks for everybody else, but at the same time, I go back and forth on this. Like, it's a tournament, I mean, you're supposed to be playing to win, right? I
Oh
mean, you
yeah,
you take the toughest stuff that you can, and you don't apologize for it.
yeah. That's
But
what I
then,
mean. That's what I did with my list. You saw my original list. I was like, all right, this is gonna be fun list and all that. But then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to take a net list because net lists have been proven, and I just have to figure out how to run it and not care about having the fun part, just having something that can go against everything else.
yeah, because you say I want to play for fun, but at the same time, you also know losing is not fun. And just being like outpowered is no fun either. So it's one of the reasons why I'm more and more into Infinity, man.
But yeah, I mean, um, the mindset for LVO definitely have to do it like I've seen people do for War Machine. War Machine is very their tournament scene is very competitive. It is very cutthroat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in War Machine, you don't have to paint your models.
Uh,
Suck it, War Machine. Sorry, I
if you like,
interrupted you.
if you would like Casey to assemble your War Machine miniatures, he'll do it on commission. Inquire below.
I hate you so much. Sorry, the point you were trying to make about War Machine.
But yeah, it's that's that competitive. Uh, you have to be the very best, like nobody ever was.
Well, War Machine is like you pretty much know how the game's going within the first couple of turns.
Well, it doesn't usually get till to. I don't see many games go past turn 3 in tournaments. But then this is, I mean, the matchup, the tournament system is a little bit different than 40K. You have 3 lists to take in War Machine, so you can win or lose just by taking the wrong list. Whereas in 40K, it's all comers. You take what your list is. It's what you're taking the whole time.
So, yeah, it's like I said. At one point, I get really frustrated by it, but then, like I said, then I come back to it and say, "Well, we are playing in a tournament, so I mean, isn't this the way it's supposed to be?"
You have
I
to
don't know.
kill off that little bit inside of you that says, "But I'm a nice guy."
Yeah, nice guys don't win tournaments. Uh, I don't know. In general, that's I'm becoming less and less interested in tournament 40K, and I think that's GW is trying to push us that direction too by just creating these banana combos. They're just trying to make a tournament scene, while still extremely viable, just unfun.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they have their yeah. You can run a lot of this stuff as narrative, but I mean, 40K, everybody, a lot of people are into it to play competitive, and narrative stuff breaks the game a little bit.
It, yeah, it's just a really tough place for the community to be in because what do you do about it?
Yeah,
I mean, do you just start banning everything that is more powerful than you think it ought to be? And I mean, that's not fair.
Yeah, because I saw a local tournament here that they're like, okay, we're just gonna do 1,500 points. It's gonna be book missions, book maelstroms, and I didn't. The feedback I heard on that was just it was not the greatest thing.
I think Maelstrom missions are great, like when you're with your buddies for an evening of games. I think it's absolutely amazing for that. But yeah, for a tournament play, everything I've seen is Maelstrom doesn't actually work too well.
I do like the modified maelstroms that LVO does. It's great. It sucks when you can't roll your dice well enough though, and you're pretty much screwed on. I can't grab that mission.
Which is why we should all play more Infinity, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you seen the new Rajik hacker?
Oh, he looks so pretty. Except he's standing on two things.
He is?
He's got the yeah. He's got the hero pose, and he's on one big thing of wreckage and one small thing of wreckage.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Although I like the model, I think it's a nice looking model.
Oh, he's
like,
pretty.
and the cool thing is especially about that model, is that you don't look at it and go, "Oh well, now I can't take any more of the Rajiks from anything else." So he looks good, but he also blends in well with the existing stuff, which has been kind of a hard time. Like say Fusiliers. New Fusiliers look amazing. Old Fusiliers kind of look like garbage next to them, even with a nice paint job. So, yeah, I think that Rajik hacker is nice.
Then they've I think they updated the backpack because the
Did
old
they?
yeah, he's got the same backpack as the hacker here. Like he's got the Gulam hacker backpack. At least what's what it looks like. But then the wings look like they attach better. So when I get the model, because I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna buy it for completion issues. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping those wings work a lot better. They don't snap off and go flying everywhere.
Yeah, I can see those are pretty thin, dicey little things. That's the one hard thing about Infinity is you gotta get ready for your models to break.
There will be fiddly bits. But going back to like new stuff, I mean, 40K got some new stuff too this past week or this coming week.
Oh my gosh, you Blood Angel players are lucky.
Yeah, we got
You're
a
so
bloody.
lucky.
Well, it's a chaplain. I mean, it's a really cool looking sculpt. He's one side looks like chaplain armor, the other side looks um, like one of the characters.
I think he's actually a character for this new campaign that they have, or isn't it? Or there's like a new formation, something like that.
Hopefully, but I mean, they're releasing a lot of singles next coming week because you got the Captain Carlene from the Shield of Ball kit. He's coming out single pack. All the assassins are now single buys, so you don't have to buy the big box.
Yeah, and they're what, like $20 a piece for a single model?
$20, $30, probably 30.
No, thank you.
And then they got the Tau? Was it month Ka supplement coming out?
Yep.
For your Farsight Enclave. So a lot of new stuff coming down the line for GW.
Yeah, I guess. What's got you most excited?
I do like that captain, the chaplain with the. He does look pretty cool.
Yeah, will I be seeing him on the table here before too long?
Probably not because I don't run the chaplains with. I run the sanguinary, the guys in white. Uh, Although I will say my only grievance. I mean, yes, blood angels are vampires in space, but the chaplain's skull helmet has two fangs in it. I'm like, why?
Cause it looks cool, man. I'm not a Blood Angel player, and even I think it looks cool. Like that is a really cool helmet. If you don't like that helmet, you are wrong, sir.
Maybe he'll have long flowing locks as a sprue.
Well, I mean, he is a Blood Angel.
And yeah, and then Forge World got some new Wraith Knight stuff coming out too.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need is like power up Wraith Knights.
It's a good time to be a gamer. That's all I gotta say.
Yes, it is. I mean, as much as we complain, there's a lot of cool stuff going on right now.
And then, I mean, this coming week, Black Friday, it's gonna hurt. Lot of stuff, lot of stores are gonna be had there. Nice discounts and little bios
Do
that
you
they've been holding off.
do you know of any deals in particular that you're looking at?
Nothing. Nobody's posted anything yet, and we'll probably see stuff this week. I know. I mean, I've shopped at War Store. They did good deal. Miniature Market does a good deal. Uh, I'm hoping that Dexter over at Sharkman Lasers will have a good because I got my Euro board last year, so hopefully you'll have something as good this year.
Yeah, I don't know of any particular deals going on. Oh, I do know of one. Uh, Underground Lasers. You know, we've gotten some laser cut terrain from them before. They make really nice stuff. They for 1 hour only on Black Friday. It's like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Or no, I'm sorry, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, they will be doing 50% off.
Oh,
Now, if you've seen their stuff, you know it's already really well priced. But the guy's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, I'll do this. You know, he's very surly about it.
I mean, yeah. If you're an Infinity player and you're looking for terrain, this is like the time of the year to buy stuff.
Here we go. I just said screw it. I was I was trying to wait. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to assemble everything. Like at the very end, I'm going to pre-paint everything. No, man, I'm so excited. I'm just putting it all together right now. Yeah, so we'll see. You know, I what I like about Underground Lasers is he's got those little beacons for $2. So I'm like, a beacon for $1 a piece. That's not too bad. I could talk myself into that.
What I want to get, and if I can find a good deal, is I like storage crates, the storage containers. A lot of different laser cutters do them, and I think I got some Black Sheep ones last year, but they make such great little terrain. So I'm hoping to find a good deal this year for Black Friday.
Well, storage containers are also just like it's nice and ubiquitous. You can do it for just about anything. You know, it works for modern, it works for sci-fi. If you get the right kind, you can even use it for, like older stuff. Like you can make it work for Malifaux.
Oh, that's right. You saw my hexagon mill a couple weeks ago.
I did. Looks
What did,
pretty.
what did you think of that?
Looks good to me.
Were you able to play on it?
Yeah. So, first of all, we were all impressed by it. You brought it over for a gaming night. For Infinity, it's not quite a full table.
Yeah, it's a. I think I bought a half table.
But I will say that, however, though, for 40K, it's an amazing amount of terrain. So I think I like it. So first of all, like it's really bright looking. Like it pops.
Like the anime style.
Mm-hmm. It's also really durable. Like when you showed me it was all flat pack and stuff, and you started to kind of slide it together, I wasn't too sure about it. I was like, okay, here we go. However, once you got everything all like fitted and slotted into place, it's really, really stable and really sturdy. I mean, you could play on it without worrying about things, flying every which way.
Yeah.
So the color on it is nice. The finish is really good. I'll be honest, man. Like I want some.
Yeah.
And then a whole table's worth. I mean, you can fit it inside a shoebox.
Yeah, that's the really cool thing is the storage. I mean, yeah, nothing else. The flat pack terrain, able to do a whole table and then take it away just as quickly.
Yeah, because when you started breaking all out, I was like, oh, here we go. We're going to be sitting here for like the next half hour or something building this nonsense. But it really it builds fast. Yeah. So he got the tolerances just right. Like it's just big enough that the tolerances are just open enough that you can build it quickly, but it's also tight enough that it all fits together really well once it's done. Dude, you ever just sit back and look at your work and you're like, dang, I do nice work. I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, good job, me. Good job, GW. But mostly good job, me.
I get those on occasion, and then I prime up all my stuff, and I'm like, oh, damn it, there's a mold line.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll be different doing here in another day or so when it's all primed up. So, but Will, is there anything else you wanted to talk about this evening, Alan?
No, I think that's it. Like I said, this coming week is going to be all turkey and spending money I don't have.
Well, hopefully there's more of the first than the latter.
Yeah. Anything else for you?
No, I think I'm good.
All right.
Other than no blood tonight, I'm happy.
Well, tune in next time, guys. Maybe he'll bleed over his work. But that's it for our show this week. If you want Casey to do some commissions, please just email us, and we'll have him assemble all the stuff for you.
Yeah.
Good rates.
War Machine is my specialty.
He loves steampunk.
Good night, Alan.
That's it for us tonight, folks. Let us know join us in the conversation. Are you a 40K player? What have you gone against a lot of these detachments? What do you think of the balancing of the issue? Is it balanced? Is there an issue? Let's start a conversation in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to see more. We'll be back next week. Casey, anything else?
Nope, just as always, if you've got something neat that you'd like us to talk about, or there's an interesting product you'd like us to look at, just shoot us an email at theatomicsalt@gmail.com. This is The Atomic Salt. and we've just blown your mind.
Good night, folks. See you next week.